Hello everyone, factoring into our latest weekend forecast for the United States of America. So this is a new feature at Gaz Weather Vids. We are doing weekend forecasts every Thursday for the United States, and we're going to take you day by day through the weather, starting tomorrow and going through to the following weekend. So I think that's going to be around the 6th, 7th of June. Actually, a little bit beyond that. We will talk about a little bit beyond that, because there's just a possibility of a major storm developing in the Gulf of Mexico sometime around the 10th, perhaps, of June. So we will cover that right at the very end of the weekend forecast. But primarily we're focusing on the weather for the next week. So I'll get on that for you very shortly. Just to say that if you are enjoying the weekend forecast for the United States at the moment, please can you give us a like on the video. Let us know in the comments if you find it useful. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We have a website, gazweathers.com, but these videos are going to be kept YouTube exclusive for the time being. So if you want to keep up to date with the weekend forecast for America, but you will need to subscribe to the channel. And thanks so much, everybody, for doing that. So I'll start off with just like a broad sort of appraisal of what's going on in the week ahead. This is our temperature anomaly for the week ahead, taking us from the 28th of May to the 5th of June. And a proper east-west split really across America in the week ahead. So many of these eastern states are going to be pretty cold, or cooler than average anyway, with below average temperature anomalies. Out in the west, though, actually the temperature anomaly is significantly above average in many of those western states. So a proper east-west split, with the Midwest sort of marking the boundary between the hotter, really hot weather in the west and the cooler weather over in the east. The precipitation anomaly in the weekend, excuse me, taking us from the 28th of May to 5th of June, is going to be varying from state to state. It looks very wet on this west coast, so we're going to have some torrential rain and thunderstorms across parts of central northern California, for example. More about that in a moment. But we've got some of the hottest temperatures. Actually, it looks pretty dry, but it goes wetter again as we come into the west of the Midwest. And then over across many of these central and eastern states, actually it looks rather drier than average, especially down across these more southern states, so like Texas, for example, standing out as being significantly drier than average in the week ahead. So a lot of variation from state to state in the week to come, probably indicative of heavy showers and thunderstorms in some areas. Right, so let's get on with it then, and we're going to start off with the weather for tomorrow. Don't worry about the timestamp that you see at the top of the chart. This is from a European website, so although it's showing 9 o'clock in the evening, that's European time. For America, that's going to be like middle of the afternoon. That's important when we come to look at the temperatures. So then, we've got a real heat wave, of course, going on at the moment across many of those western and southwestern states. So the heat really is very intense up this western side. There's a trough of low pressure beginning to develop off the Pacific coast of California. That's going to start moving on to the west coast on Saturday. But for tomorrow, that low pressure is still really off the west coast. Then we've got a ridge of high pressure extending down through the central states, and then we move into a trough of low pressure that's sort of in the east and in the northeast. That's got cooler air with it as well, with that trough of low pressure. Our air temperatures are looking like this. So out in the west, in the southwest, it is intensely hot, extremely hot and dangerous heat wave conditions in these western and southwestern states, particularly states such as Arizona and New Mexico, and going northwards up towards Nevada. Extremely hot through those areas, and actually pushing a little bit further north than usual, heading up towards more of those northwestern states being brought into this heat wave as well. Conversely, though, we have much cooler air digging down through the Midwest and then pushing over towards the east of the United States. Though up the east coast itself, up the eastern seaboard itself, it does look relatively warm with the upper air temperatures. With that cooler air over in the east of America, there are also a lot of heavy showers and thunderstorms, maybe longer spells of rain as well. So like it is pretty wet on this eastern side with heavy showers and some thunderstorms in places running up the east coast. Come further west, though, from the Midwest and then back into western parts of the states, it's mainly dry. One or two scattered thunderstorms being triggered by the intense heat that we've got over there in the west, but generally it's just going to be baking hot and very, very dry through those western parts of America tomorrow. So coolest weather is like in the north and the northeast, up here up towards the Great Lakes. Temperatures there only sort of reach around 22, 23. That's like to below 70s Fahrenheit. It does get warmer as we push up the eastern seaboard, though. Temperatures there are going to be up to around 80 to 85 Fahrenheit. And then out in the west, that's where the heat is really building. Over on this western and southwestern side, we see temperatures widely between around 90 and 100 Fahrenheit. And some places such as southern Arizona, for example, and also eastern parts of California, possibly up towards the southern part of the state of Nevada, we could see temperatures like up to 103, 104, 105 Fahrenheit through those areas. So it could be extremely hot in that southwestern corner. And it's also pretty warm at the eastern side. It's cooler up towards the Great Lakes. In the northwest, it is also very hot as well, which is a little bit unusual. It's normally quite cool there, but in the northwest, for states like Oregon and also Washington, we see temperatures into the 80s Fahrenheit quite widely through there, probably around 86 to 90 Fahrenheit up in the northwest tomorrow. We move through into Saturday and we start to bring that area of low pressure in off the Pacific coast in towards the northwest in particular. That will bring some heavy rain and thunderstorms with it. We've still got this trough of low pressure up in the northeast, and we're still drawing up these very hot southerly winds from Mexico into these western parts of the states on Saturday. Look at the intense heat that we've got on the western side. Dangerous heat wave conditions, again surging northwards out of Mexico and pushing northwards through those western states. Although on the Pacific coast itself, it is turning a little bit cooler there, with that trough of low pressure bringing cooler air in off the Pacific. And then of course we've got the trough of low pressure over on the eastern side of America, so there we're looking at much cooler temperatures, particularly for more northern and northeastern states. Although again, along the eastern seaboard itself, it is relatively warm through those areas. Still some heavy showers and thunderstorms on the east coast, and then we've got this torrential rain, possibly with thunder moving in off the Pacific as well, affecting northern parts of California and going northwards up to Oregon and Washington. Going inland, though, we find mainly dry conditions, some scattered thunderstorms around, triggered by the intense heat that we've got in the west, but generally a lot of dry weather in the west. And then it actually turns rather drier as you move over onto this, through the Midwest, onto this eastern side as well. Not as many showers around on Saturday through those areas. So it's cooling down on the west coast itself. Temperatures are dropping to much more comfortable values as we bring that rain in off the Pacific in towards the northwest. In particular, temperatures will be falling down to like 60 to 70 Fahrenheit. Going inland, though, we've still got the heat surging northwards through these inland western states. Heading over towards the Midwest and then onto the eastern side of America, there we see temperatures generally around 70 to 75 Fahrenheit. Probably still very warm though on the eastern seaboard itself. Temperatures there up to around 80 to 86 Fahrenheit on the east coast, I would have thought. Right, that takes us through to Sunday, and on Sunday we're starting to lose that trough of low pressure to some degree, so we begin to get a ridge beginning to push in towards more of these central Midwestern states anyway. Still got the low pressure up towards the north of America, and possibly the peak of the heat wave across these western states will have passed to some degree, although the upper air temperatures do still look very, very intensely hot really down across these southern western states. So again, like Arizona, New Mexico, eastern part or western parts of Texas, still very, very hot there. But up in the northwest, it's just cooling down a little bit. Notice how those cooler upper air temperatures are just beginning to move into some of those sort of northern western states, if you see what I mean. But again, it's over on the eastern side of America that the temperatures are significantly lower. Upper air temperatures looking significantly lower through many of these eastern and northeastern parts of America on Sunday. So mainly dry day actually across most parts of the country. We've got rid of those heavy showers and storms off the east seaboard. They've moved out into the Atlantic. And essentially we've just got lots and lots of dry weather across the states through the course of Sunday. Some heavy showers up towards the Great Lakes, one or two coming off the Pacific into the far northwest as well. But most places across America are looking pretty dry on Sunday. One or two scattered thunderstorms triggered by the heat in central western parts of America. Temperatures looking a little bit on the cool side, particularly for these northern and eastern parts of states. Again, probably only like around sort of 70 Fahrenheit, maybe a little bit lower in some of those northeastern states as well. Cooling down as well on the eastern seaboard. Temperatures probably dropping into the mid-70s there. Still very hot through many of these western states, away from the Pacific coast anyway, where temperatures have returned to more comfortable values of like 60 to 70 Fahrenheit. And of course hot in California, but the heat is really down across Arizona, for example, and then surging northwards into the west of the Midwest. So somewhere like Colorado looking really quite hot on Sunday. That takes us through to Monday, and the high pressure again is sort of drifting over towards this eastern side of America. We've got an area of low pressure up towards the far north, but otherwise there's not a great deal of change on Monday. Still very hot across these particularly southwestern states, but also beginning to get hotter again further northwest. The heat is beginning to start pushing back into states like Oregon and Washington once again. On the eastern side, that's where the coolest temperatures are, particularly in this northeastern part of America. So yes, it's in the northeast that temperatures will be cooler through there. Again, a lot of dry weather on Monday. Some showers around northern California and going up into southern Oregon, and one or two heavy showers again triggered by the thunderstorms in the central western states also. Some quite heavy showers as we push over towards the Great Lakes, but really I think many central and eastern parts of America are looking at quite a bit of dry weather on Monday. Maybe some heavy showers developing over Florida. Temperatures rather cool in the northeast, so again we're around 65 to 70 Fahrenheit, something like that for any of those northeastern states. But again, the heat is through the west of the Midwest. In particular, we'll see temperatures there like going up to 95 Fahrenheit. And then we come back onto the west coast and actually gets much more comfortable there. Although temperatures probably lifting up a little bit actually on Monday compared to where they are on Sunday. That takes us through to Tuesday, and again we're looking at a lot of high pressure developing on the eastern side of America, gradually perhaps starting to draw some hotter air up from the south into some of those midwestern states, but I suppose the real heat is still going to be out in the west. So again, there's the upper air temperature showing very, very hot conditions on this western side of America, and again pushing further northwards with time as well, beginning to push back in towards some of those northern and northwestern states. So it's beginning to warm up over on the eastern side too, although it does still look pretty cool in the northeast of America. Quite a bit of dry weather again on Tuesday with a fair amount of high pressure around. Heavy showers and thunderstorms in this southeastern corner, so from Florida going through the Gulf of Mexico. It looks like it's got some heavy showers and thunderstorms there, and possibly some quite heavy showers up towards the far northeast. Otherwise, we've got scattered thunderstorms triggered by the heat out in the west, but there is a lot of dry weather on offer through the United States on Tuesday. Temperatures beginning to warm up in the east, although it is still pretty cool in the far northeast. Temperatures there probably paid back at around 60 to 65 Fahrenheit. But otherwise, many of these eastern states are beginning to see the temperature pushing up to like upper 70s to low 80s Fahrenheit. And in the Midwest, well, that's where the hottest temperatures are. In the west of the Midwest, we see temperatures going widely again into the mid to upper 90s Fahrenheit. And also come down to the southwestern corner, of course, it's going to be very hot there. Up into the north Pacific Northwest of America. There, we're beginning to see temperatures again lifting up, probably into the upper 70s to low 80s Fahrenheit. That's Wednesday, and it looks like again we're drawing up some quite hot air on this eastern side of America. Things begin to perhaps look a little bit more unstable out to the northwest. The upper air temperatures again showing the heat building on this western side of America, so heat surging north on the west side of America, but also heat is building over on the eastern side of the states too. So many parts of America going a lot hotter as we move through into the middle part of next week. We have got some heavy showers and thunderstorms developing as well in the northeast, so some torrential rain and severe thunderstorms possible from the Great Lakes going up to the northeastern part of America. Also, we've got these heavy showers here gathering down in the Gulf of Mexico. They might be threatening some heavy showers and thunderstorms around Florida and around the Gulf Coast. Going further westwards, maybe a little bit more in way of heavy showers and thunderstorms as well through some of those western states. And we see we've got some heavy showers and storms from California going up towards the northwest of America too. Temperatures are very warm across most parts of the states, away from this Pacific western coast anyway, where it is a little bit cooler. Overall temperatures are going to be light widely into the 80s Fahrenheit. And again, some of those southern and southwestern and also midwestern states will see temperatures surging into the 90s to 100s Fahrenheit once again. And then we're moving through into Thursday, a week away now, and things look as though they could be starting to turn a little bit more unsettled out in these western states, possibly some lower pressure beginning to develop through there. These eastern states drawing up some pretty hot air from the south, though. Upper air temperatures show that the heat is surging again through these western states. It's cooler though in the far Pacific northwestern corner, coming a little bit cooler in the far northeast of America as well. The heat never really gets into the extreme northeast of the states, but many of these eastern and southeastern states do look very warm to hot. Thunderstorms are gathering out in the west, so Thursday could bring some much needed relief in terms of the rainfall to some of those western states. They look a bit hit and miss, but there could be some quite torrential thunderstorms developing on this western side. And then as we go further eastwards into the eastern part of America, there we have lots of heavy showers and thunderstorms pushing from the Midwest over towards the eastern seaboard on Thursday. Temperatures on Thursday are looking like this. So where we've got the torrential rain and thunderstorms, temperatures are pegged back a little bit. Overall, it is a very warm scene across many parts of America, though, with temperatures widely from like 80s to 90s Fahrenheit. It is cooler up in the northeast. Temperatures up there are going to be more comfortable, like upper 60s to low 70s Fahrenheit, and the same is true in the northwest as well. Temperatures looking a lot more comfortable there. But through the Midwest and particularly over towards the southeastern corner, we see temperatures widely into the 90s Fahrenheit through those areas. And then I'll just run you on through the end of next week. So this is Friday, 5th of May. We're going to go up towards day 10. Friday, 5th of May. So we've got low pressure out in the northwest. That might bring some heavy showers and some thunderstorms. A ridge over on the eastern side of America could start to draw up some hotter air from the south onto this eastern coast. So as we move through to the weekend of the 6th and the 7th of June, the 7th of June is day 10, of course. It is looking quite a lot cooler and more unsettled up in the northwest. It looks like, again, low pressure developing up towards the northwest, bringing heavy showers, probably thunderstorms and longer spells of rain, and cooler air in out of Canada as well. But at the same time, over on the eastern side of the states, we've got a ridge off the eastern coast of America, and that will probably draw up some very hot air across many of these eastern and southeastern parts of America. So maybe a bit of a change as we get through to the first weekend of June, with the heat tending to shift more towards the east and the southeast, and possibly turning cooler and more unsettled in the west and the northwest. And the last thing I want to leave you with is going out beyond that. There are just one or two hints of a major tropical storm or possibly hurricane developing in the Gulf of Mexico with the extended GFS. This is very long range stuff. It's around 2 weeks away. This is Thursday, the 11th of June. It's on the 6Z of the GFS today. Got this area of low pressure here through the Gulf of Mexico and possibly pushing somewhere onto the Gulf Coast of like Texas, or it could be anywhere really. So it could be anywhere further east or further west of that area. But GFS is quite keen on some sort of very significant disturbance developing in the Gulf. Sometime around sort of 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, any time around that period, GFS is quite keen to develop a very significant system. Could be a tropical storm, it may be a hurricane. We'll need to keep an eye on it. And of course, that'll be more, we'll talk about that much more if it develops in next week's weekend forecast for the United States. Okay, that's it then. So if you've enjoyed this weather forecast weekend for America, then please like, share and subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments what you think. We'll have another weekend forecast for America, same time, same place next week. Thanks so much for watching.